Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Vancity Experts Real Estate. I am your host, Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is Sunday, March the 3rd. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Happy to see all of you. We're so happy to do this show tonight. I'm in a really good mood. I'm always in a good mood, but today I'm in a very good mood. I was speaking at a Catholic youth conference in Spokane, and I got home safely. Hello, Brian. If Brian's watching, hello, Brian. Thank you for being an awesome host. Then, of course, Elias Pettersson signs his 8-year contract, and then the Canucks win today to get back in the win column. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go just speak about my Spokane experience for the first 3 to 5 minutes. So if you're here for Canucks Talk, don't worry, I'll get to it. But I also like to share what's going on in my life. I think that's part of this community. So I'll do that for the first 3 to 4 minutes max. Then I'll talk about tonight's game. And then I'll talk about Elias Pettersson. I was just looking at someone's comment, Elias Pettersson's contract. And then I'll turn it over to all of you. Now, Shannon mentioned that she is having audio issues. Just wondering why you sound good. Well, I know I look good, sound good, and then it goes low. Is anyone else having audio issues? I can hear it. I have a stream going, and it sounds fine to me, but let me know. I do know once in a while that when I shout in the microphone, that the volume, the microphone adjusts itself, but hopefully you can make it work, Shannon, and hopefully I won't go too crazy, and then the microphone won't change volumes. So let me talk. Let me do my usual welcome. Then, yeah, that's the order I'll go in. Spokane, Canucks game, Elias Pettersson contract, and then all of your questions. So first and foremost, moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, as legends, Hall of Fame and franchise members, thanks for your support as always. We're up to 126 members in the community, which is amazing. Thanks to all of you and to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from. We're in my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond in the city, in the province, in the Lower Mainland province, country, continent, around the world. Thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be watching anyone else, doing anything else, getting ready for work, school, or bed, all three. But the fact that you're here with me right now, know how much I always appreciate you. And I never, ever take you for granted. By the way, fangirl, it's very interesting that you say most people were sleeping. Yes, many people I'm sure were, but I was up, but by fluke. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Carol, I'm going to get to your donation, your membership gift in a second too. Amazing. So this is how you guys can get involved. You can subscribe so you get active in the chat section and you get notified of my videos whenever I drop them. You can like the video. 52 of you in here. Thank you for waiting for me. 52 of you in here, which is awesome for Sunday night. Let's get those likes up to 25. You guys know how much I love that 50% rule. So if you haven't liked the video yet, very simple. Hover over that thumbs up and press it. You can't press your screen. You got to press I guess you do press your screen or you press your mouse, do whatever, but just like the video. You can leave a donation. You can gift a membership like Carol has done. In fact, she's gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Carol. It's the first Sunday of the month. You know what that means? I will gift 5 memberships later in the show as well, whenever I feel like doing so. So that's something to look forward to. And then, yes, and Carol, I'm going to recognize your membership. You know what? Let's recognize your membership gifts right now, because when you're that generous, you should be recognized. You shouldn't have to wait until I ramble endlessly. So Carol, thank you for being the legend that you are. Carol gives 5 memberships. So welcome to the CCCC, the Clay's Canucks Commentary crew. Anula, Ricky, RP88, Chris, and SMW. I recognize all you guys. So I got to find out a way to make you guys stay. But for now, Carol, thank you for your generosity. Let's give Carol some love in the chat. And welcome to all 5 of you. I think welcome back to all 5 of you. You've all been members in one way, shape, or form before. So thank you. And Clifford, happy belated birthday. Glad that you're here. And yes, Pettersson's contract was a wonderful birthday gift to you for sure. So you can, like I said, subscribe, like the video. You can leave a donation. You can gift memberships like Carol just did. Thanks again, Carol. You're the best. You can also buy your own membership, upgrade your own membership. You can leave a membership message, a monthly membership message. You guys all get one. Or you can, and if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. So once again, this is the order I'm going to go, so no one complains. Spokane for 3 minutes, Canucks game, Elias Pettersson contract, then to all of you. So I was in Spokane. I flew out on Friday, and then I helped set up for the conference. Then I spoke Saturday. I had 3 sessions of about 30 to 40 minutes each. And then we cleaned up. It was just a one-day conference for about 200 young people and their adult leaders out in Spokane, Washington. So I flew to Seattle, and then I flew over to Spokane. Each of the flights were less than an hour. In fact, the flight home from Seattle was only 35 minutes. But it was either 2 quick 1-hour flights or it was 8 hours of driving. And when I woke up Saturday morning, the day of the conference, it had snowed like crazy. Like it dumped snow. So I was really worried and praying for all the youth participants. Some of them, their adult leaders and parents were driving for 3 hours through the snow, but they made it, and we had a wonderful time. And that's, for those of you that don't know, I work for the Catholic Church full-time. My full-time job isn't as a speaker. It's more to help churches do their programming for young people, but then on the side, or as part of my work, but more on the side, because I get paid to do that kind of thing. And then I do some speaking gigs, about 10 to 12 speaking gigs a year, sometimes local, sometimes national, and in this case, international. You guys might remember I was in Dallas around this time last year, and then I was blessed to go to Spokane this year. So it was a wonderful way I talked about the Canucks. I always do. I shared about my family. I actually talked about this channel, this community. So overall, it was a wonderful weekend. So thanks. I know many of you knew that I was gone. I didn't miss any shows actually, because I was gone Friday, Saturday, got back just a couple hours ago, but it's still a wonderful weekend to meet some great young people, some very inspiring young people, meet some wonderful supportive adults. And then of course, my amazing host, Brian. So Brian, if you're watching, or if any of the young people from Spokane are watching, it was wonderful to see you on the weekend. Now it shows Carol gifted 5 memberships 3 times, but is that wrong? Or did she actually gift memberships 3 times? That seems like a lot. I think it's an error on the YouTube side, because I've been notified once. Regardless, Carol, yeah, I think it's once, but I'm still grateful for your generosity. Yeah, I think it's a bug in the YouTube algorithm or whatever it is. But Carol, still appreciate you very much. You're probably the most generous person on here. And not that it's a competition, but know how much I appreciate you. So once again, a great weekend in Spokane. I'm going to loop back to the Spokane part when I talk about how I found out about the Elias Pettersson contract, which is kind of funny actually. But let's talk about tonight's game first. This was a game that the Canucks should have won for sure. Didn't matter how much they've been winning, how much they've been losing recently. So they should have won, and they did win. Thank you, Adam, for the. I just saw the comment about my sexy voice. Said no one ever. Really quick start to tonight's game. You guys know the first 2 shots were goals. We had Hoglander, a lot of pressure with that Hoglander and PD line. They were playing with Suter. Mikheyev was playing with Besser and Miller. They did some really good job. And it's the Triple H line, or the Triple H's, Hronek to Hughes. Hughes makes that wonderful play out of the corner on the right side and then finds Hoglander in the slot. So just a minute 37 in on the first shot on goal. Canucks are up 1-0. Then Alex Killorn, kind of a fluky goal. Someone took a shot. It went off someone else and then bounced to Killorn. DeSmith had no chance. But I was worried. Because DeSmith hasn't been playing great. I was like, oh man, the first shot goes in on him. And then, so I was worried, but no, DeSmith didn't let in another goal. The Canucks outshot Anaheim 14-3. And then it was Connor Garland. Power play didn't do much, didn't do anything. But then there's a beautiful feed from Zadorov. Really, really good feed. And he found the seam, put it through the middle of the ice, and found Connor Garland for a tip in. And that's all the Canucks needed. That was at the start of the second period, and the Canucks held on. Interesting. I don't know. So I was able to watch this in the Seattle airport, and then I was watching the last 5 minutes while on the plane ready to take off. And I don't know about you, but it didn't seem like Anaheim, they weren't very, very, what's the word? There wasn't a lot of urgency. Like they had a chance to pull their goalie with about 2.5 minutes left, 2 minutes, 1/2, and they didn't pull their goalie till a minute left. So there wasn't a lot of urgency in their play. That's what I thought. And then Elias Lindholm certainly didn't show a lot of urgency when he had a chance to simply skate 2 more strides or bank it off the boards. But instead, he inexplicably passed it to the middle. But the no harm, no foul, because Anaheim didn't really get a good shot off because they weren't showing any urgency. So it's just a weird, are you with me? It was just a weird final 2 minutes. I don't think Anaheim pushed as hard as they could. They certainly didn't pull their goalie as early as they could have, and they probably should have. And then they were just kind of la-di-dying in their own zone. They weren't really pushing up the ice. And then Lindholm didn't have a chance. Had a chance to get rid of the puck, and he basically ensured that the Canucks were pinned in their zone for a little bit. So that was kind of interesting. Canucks dominated the shots, 31-18, dominated the faceoff circle. Only 3 power plays, 0 for 1 for Anaheim, 0 for 2 for the Canucks. And then hits more for Anaheim, block shots more for Anaheim. So you look at the stats, aside from the faceoffs and the shots, I guess the shots is a big one though. Yeah, maybe 31-18, maybe the Canucks should have won by more than 2-1. But even though it was 1-1 for the most of the first period, and even though the Canucks only won by 1, I don't know about you, but I wasn't worried about this game, like, at all. 0% worried. Maybe I was too good in a mood from the weekend, but I was 0% worried. Put in the comments, how percent worried were you that the Canucks were either going to lose this game or at least Anaheim was going to tie it up? No word of a lie. I was 0. I was 0%. Adam uses a monthly membership message. Thank you, Adam, for your support, as always. Adam, a member for 10 months. And he says, Carol is awesome. That's what he uses monthly membership for. I agree. Carol is awesome, but so are you, Adam. Thank you for being a member, a valuable member here. Then you look at the box score, and I think there's not much to talk about in a 2-1 game, but I want to point something out to you. I thought Vasily Podkolzin had an excellent game. He didn't look nervous. He played, Hoglander played 12:41. Podkolzin played 12:39. So basically played the exact same. Now, this is where I think a 0 stat line deceives you, because we can see, what's wrong with me? Everyone's like 55% worried, 60% worried, 50% worried. Nah, not for me. So here's a good example. Maybe you can't always believe the stat line. 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points, even, no penalty minutes, no shots, no hits, no 12:40 ice time. You look at that, if you didn't watch the game, you say, wow, he must have been invisible. But I think if you watch the game, you saw that he wasn't nervous. He didn't turn the puck over. He played tough on the boards. That's what we remember about him. He actually set up Garland and a couple others for decent scoring chances, especially in the early part of the game. I thought Podkolzin was fine. Even though his stats are zeros right across, I thought Podkolzin was good. I thought Hoglander was really good. And to me, you guys, that's a great sign that our 2019 draft picks, of course, Podkolzin was number 10 overall in the first round. Hoglander was in the second round. And don't forget, Archer Seelovs was in that draft as well. So if all 3 of those guys work out, and I really have high hopes for Podkolzin. I've always had high hopes for Podkolzin. He had to marinate a little bit more in the AHL like Hoglander had to do last year. Now Hoglander's good this year. Maybe most of this season in the AHL for Podkolzin was this season. And maybe now, I don't know if he sticks for the rest of this year, but I think he's a lock. I hope he's a lock to make the team next year. And I think it's fine. He's still going to be on a team-friendly contract. So I really like Podkolzin's game. I thought Hoglander was good. I thought Miller was noticeable as always. I thought Petey was okay. I thought DeSmith was great. Like, he had the only goal that beat him was a bit of a fluky goal. So overall, I thought this was a win that they needed to have, a win that they got. It wasn't even an ugly win. It just wasn't the most exciting game. By the way, Lucas is here, another legend. Hello, Lucas. Lucas has been a member since the very start, 3 years now, 37 months. A regulation win is an extensive get for us. Guess we took the quacks out back, and you know the rest. All those cynics on Twitter, where are they now? Yeah, no, it was a good win. It's a good win. Granted, we got to be honest. This is a pretty bad team that we beat, and we're going to be tested in the next little bit. So thank you, Lucas, for using your monthly membership message, and thank you for being an important part of this community. Awesome. One other thing I was going to say. No, that's all I have to say about tonight's game. Actually, let's look at the scores. 6 games. Remember, I only care about, I always say I only care about the Pacific Division teams or good teams, but then I end up doing a quick comment usually on all of them. Coyotes, they've won again, 5-2. The Kings, they're hot, and I'll get to that in a second. 5-1 over the Devils. Jets, still good in the Central. We got the Wild kind of falling out of the playoffs spot, although I have Kaprizov in my fantasy pool, so I'm happy we got our win. And then Oilers smoked the Penguins. They just smoked them. So what does it mean? Well, let's look at the standings now. We look at our division. You guys, this is the fascinating thing. So we are still 9 points up on Edmonton, and they have 4 games in hand. So even if they win all 4, we are still 1 up on them. That's why we have a higher points percentage. But look, LA, by going 7-3 in their last 10, and by Vegas going 3-6-1 in their last 10, LA is 1 point behind Vegas with a game in hand. So that's why I tweeted, you know how we kept thinking, oh, I can't wait for Edmonton and Vegas to beat each other up in the first round, and then we'll get probably as one of the wildcard teams, either whatever, St. Louis, Nashville, or LA or whatever. LA could conceivably leapfrog the Golden Knights this week. Wouldn't it be crazy? Wouldn't it be crazy if the Canucks had to play Vegas in the first round because we are seed 1 or 2 and they're wild card 1 or 2. And I'm going to talk about why it's not easy to predict the standings in a second. So you look at the wild card. We'll just look at the West for today. Yeah, LA is only 1 point back, and then Nashville, and then there's a big gap. Even when you put in games in hand, there's starting to be a big gap. So I think we could, unless something crazy happens, look at Nashville. They're 8-2. They've won 8 straight. I think LA and Nashville could be the 2 wildcard teams, or maybe it's even Vegas. Then we'll go to the conference real quick. The league, I should say. Now we are back up to 2nd overall, but we played the most games with Dallas. Florida, so good. They're 9-1 in the last 10. Look at us 4. So us and Boston have sucked in the last 10. And then Florida, Rangers, Winnipeg, and look at even Toronto at 9-1. You go points percentage. We are 5th by points percentage, but we are 2nd points overall. I want to tell you one thing about the wild card thing. You guys know that 3 teams from each division make it. So Pacific and Central. I'll put it up here for you. So right now it's Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado. Then it's Vancouver, Edmonton, Vegas. And then the next 2 best teams make it. So sometimes it's 1 from each division. Sometimes it's 2 from another, the same division. The highest placed team of the 2 first seeds, the 2 division winners, play against the 2nd wild card. So all this time we were talking about the Canucks should be the first team in the conference. And then that way they'll have to play wild card 2, the weakest of the 2 wild card teams. But look, as we've seen, Dallas is only 2 points behind us with the same number of games in hand, same number of games played. Winnipeg is only, Dallas is 2 points behind us and even number of games, but Winnipeg is 2 points behind us, but they played 3 fewer games. So conceivably, Winnipeg is number 1 by points percentage in the Western Conference. So conceivably, the Canucks could win the Pacific but finish in 2nd, and then we would get the quote the better wild card team. So that's why, who knows? We don't know if the Canucks are going to finish. We think they're going to win the Pacific, but we don't know if they're going to finish ahead of the Central Division winner, and then we don't know who's going to be the 2 wild card spots. So it's almost like, I wouldn't say it's useless because I did a poll on it on X, but it is useless right now. Quite frankly, it's useless to try and guess or guesstimate or predict who they're going to play in the playoffs because we don't know if the Canucks are going to be the number 1 or 2 seed, and therefore we don't know who they're going to end up playing. So it'd be different if we knew that the Canucks were going to finish first in the conference, but we simply don't know that right now. So I hope I hope you guys understand what I was saying there. Okay, let me talk about PD for 10 minutes max, and then I'll turn it over to all of you. So I knew that I was going to get picked up at 7:45 on Saturday morning from the hotel. So I had 7:45 in my mind. I saw that the restaurant downstairs in the hotel opened at 7. So originally I was going to get up at 6:30, shower and get ready, go down at 7 for breakfast, pack up my room, and then be ready to get picked up at 7:45. So that was my original plan. Get up at 6:30 and then eat breakfast at 7, leave at 7:45. But then I thought, well, that's dumb. If I don't need breakfast, I could actually get a half an hour more sleep. So what I ended up doing is I set my alarm for 7, and then I was going to get picked up at 7:45. I would shower, get ready, pack up my room, and I wouldn't eat breakfast. So that was the plan. Went to bed at around 1 o'clock on Friday. So I got a good 6 hours sleep. I woke up at 6:58. So I just woke up instead of waiting for my alarm to go off at 7. And then as I'm getting ready in the bathroom, I think right at 7 o'clock, it was weird. The Canucks tweeted it at 7 a.m., I think. And then I think I realized later that they must have deleted that tweet, because then I think their official tweet, they retweeted, not retweeted, they did a new tweet about 15 or 20 minutes later. Regardless, it was 7 o'clock. I knew I had to shower. I knew I had to get ready, pack up my room. But I recorded a quick 2-minute vlog, because it's not about just being the first one to report it, but I knew I wouldn't have time during the day because I had to concentrate on my talks. So if you go back and watch my vlog from Saturday morning, just yesterday morning, I can't believe it's only been one day. I just woken up, so I'd only shaved like halfway, because I was shaving when I saw the alert. My eyebrows, which go crazy anyways, they were flying all over the place. My hair was all matted, but and then if you watch that video, it got good views, actually, 4,500 views. I showed the snow outside, and I was trying to talk not too loud. It's kind of like a flashback to that live stream where I did in the hotel, where I couldn't talk too loud because it was 7 in the morning. Yet I was so excited. So you don't have to, but if you want to go back and watch that video again, it's only 2 minutes long. And now that you know the story, how I just woken up, I basically got out of the shower halfway through my shave, not out of the shower, the bathroom, halfway through my shave. Can't remember if I brushed my teeth. My hair was all matted. Not the best look, but still trying to represent the GLCPC. All right, here are my thoughts on the deal. It's excellent. It's an excellent deal. I know a lot of people think because he hasn't been playing well right now, you might think it's an overpay. It does make him the 5th highest paid player next season, behind all the big ones, behind Matthews, McDavid, McKinnon, and Panarin. I think Panarin, right? Or is it Pasternak? I have it right here. Yeah, for next season, it'll be Matthews, McKinnon, McDavid, Panarin, and then Pettersson. So he's the 5th highest player in the entire league. 11.6 million. It's very important to note, because it's $100,000 more a season than William Nylander from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Understand that Pettersson plays center, Nylander plays wing. Pettersson has statistically had a better points per game, better season so far. So in it, that's why he's getting paid a bit more. But I think for the value, I think the Pettersson contract is better than the Nylander contract. This $11.6 million a year, it's a lot less than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be 12.5, so it's 11.6. It's 93 million, 92.8 million over the span of 8 years. But the cap is going to continuously go up over the next 8 years. So to have PD locked up for the prime of his career until he's 33 years old with a cap. Remember, you guys know how we talk about how good Quinn Hughes' contract is. And what's fascinating about this, remember, both PD and Hughes were up for their next contract, and they went 6 years on Hughes at 7.8. They went 3 years on PD at 7.3, because they couldn't afford to pay PD probably the 8.5 million that he was worth back then. So they went 6 years with Hughes, and now we're saying at 7.85 for this plus 3 more years. That is a complete steal for Quinn Hughes. That's like a Nathan McKinnon type deal. It's such a good deal. I really think we're going to be saying the same thing about Elias Pettersson's contract in 3 or 4 years from now. Other guys are going to be making more than him because the salary cap's going to go up. Other guys are going to come up for new contracts. Other guys are going to be making 11.8, 12, 12.5, maybe even more. And then we'll be happy that we got our guy for 11.6. Here's another thing. Yeah, he might be struggling right now. He's still on pace for close to 100 points. He had 100 points last season. We are not paying for what he's done. We are paying for his potential. He has not hit his ceiling yet. I think that's one thing that a lot of people forget is PD hasn't hit his ceiling. So that's another thing, is that's why I still think this is a good value on the deal. You look at the bigger picture. Miller is locked up for 8 years. Petey is locked up for 8 years. Hughes another 3 years. Hopefully after this, hopefully more than that. Demko still has a couple more years in his contract. So the 2 more years after this. So the core of this team is intact, at least for the next 3 years. And if we can sign Demko and Hughes again for beyond. So imagine if they signed 4 or 5 year extensions, Hughes and Demko, you could have this core together for the next 7 or 8 years. So that's an important thing. This 11.6 doesn't kick in until next season, so it doesn't affect anything to do with this year's salary cap, but it does give you now it gives you at least some clarity of what's going to happen, not just for this trade deadline, I think more realistically for free agency. Now you can slot in 11.6 for Hughes. Now you know how much you can spend for Hronek. Now you know who you're going to bring back between Joshua and DeSmith and Bluger and Cole and Lafferty and all those UFAs. Now you know. So now at least you have some clarity. So I know Pettersson, and he reiterated he wanted to do it at the end of the season. He didn't want it to become a distraction, but it was starting to become a distraction, quite frankly. And by signing him now, the Canucks actually are in a better position going to the trade deadline, and they're definitely in a much better position at going into July 1, as opposed to having to give Elias Pettersson a 1 year, 1 year deal. And then now you're worried that he's going to pull a Matthew Tkachuk and leave town. Finally, I know there's some talk out there that he was almost traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. PD was not almost traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. What I've heard and what I've read is, the Carolina Hurricanes, they made a serious offer, which is fine. And that was reported in the media, but we don't know how close the Canucks were, if at all, to actually not even accepting it, to even considering it, because they could have simply used that, what do you call it, leverage or threatening or whatever, or maybe a simple, frank conversation with Pettersson saying, so it wasn't like, hey, if you don't sign here, we're going to trade you to Carolina, because Carolina's not going to trade for Petey if they don't think they have a hope in heck in re-signing him. Why would they give up 4 players, 2 players and 2 prospects for a guy here they're going to have for 2 months? Or maybe they would, I don't know. So this narrative out there that he was almost traded to Carolina, he wasn't almost traded to Carolina. Carolina did put in a serious offer, but we don't know how close, if at all, the Canucks were to considering it. If they were considering it, we'll never know. If they weren't considering it, which is what I believe, they just kind of use it in negotiating, then so be it. The other thing about negotiating too, Pettersson even said that he's human, and that he basically said, you never show your cards in a negotiation. So you could tell when he did his press conference yesterday, he was very relaxed. He was very happy. He was joking about becoming the assistant GM and helping with contracts. So it was just a relaxed PD that we haven't seen in a long, long time. Okay, friends, thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts. That's in place of an actual vlog, a good video about it, aside from my 2-minute crazy hair, crazy eyebrow, half shaven, just woken up vlog. So there we go. Let me do my Mitchell sponsor. Actually, before that, let me give away 5 memberships right here and right now. So I get 10 memberships that I'm allowed to give away every month. And I'd like to do 5 on the first Sunday of the month and another 5 on the third Sunday of the month. So right now, here go 5 memberships. I press the button. Let's see who they go to. Canuck Clay gifted 5 memberships. They go to Jack. They go to Edward. They go to Luisa. Oh, my friend Luisa. They go to Daniel, longtime supporter here. And they go to Mark. So sorry, Irvin, I have no choice. I don't get to choose who they go to. It's done whatever YouTube's algorithm is. But welcome, Jack, Edward, Luisa, Daniel, and Mark. And yeah, you can give me some love. So give Canuck Clay some love in the chat. I'm just kidding. Don't give Canuck Clay some love. But it's cool. You guys can say that you got your 1 month of free membership from me. So that's awesome. It's the same as everyone else. So I'm happy that we were able to, with Carol's 5 memberships, with my 5 memberships, we've increased the membership pool by another 10 tonight, which is awesome. So welcome to all of you. Oh, you guys are giving me hype. This is weird. I never get hype. Well, I guess I get hype whenever you guys show up to actually watch one of these streams. Oh, Carol doesn't want to be outdone. Carol, you're the best. Actually, hold on a sec. I gotta play the horn for me first. How? Yeah, I am. Why not? I only get to do this twice a month. So let's give some love to Canuck Clay in the chat for gifting 5 memberships. I'm just kidding. Let's properly give some love to Miss Carol Bovelander, who gives another 5 memberships. So we're up to 15 memberships tonight. This is amazing. Carol gets 5 memberships, and they go to Joshua, Elston, Indigo, Dango and Sniper, and Ted. Some new names here, which is wonderful. So we've added 15 people to franchise membership tonight. Thank you, Carol, for being so generous. Let's give Carol some love in the chat as she so richly deserves. Mid-show reminder to all of you to subscribe. No, I forgot to do my mid-show sponsor read, and then I'm going to get to all of your questions, and I'm going to stay on for a while. So don't ask your questions yet. Actually, before we do that, let me acknowledge Lucas's donation. Then I'll do my mid-show sponsor read, and then I'll ask for your questions. The legends coming through tonight, I tell you. Legendary Lucas Gates with a $5 donation. Clay, could you see a shakeup in the Metro in the future upon the end of the Crosby, Malkin, Ovechkin? Absolutely. In fact, I think, great question, Lucas. I think we're already seeing it right now. Because neither of those teams, well, Pittsburgh's got an outside shot, but neither of those teams are locks to make the playoffs already this season. And I think when you think about their division now, yeah, gone are the days of which Washington and Pittsburgh dominating. And now it's the Rangers got a young team. Carolina's got a good team. Philly surprising everyone. And the Islanders are that boring team are always around. New Jersey was supposed to be a lot better this season. So yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Lucas, a good comment that I think that they are, there's a change in the guard happening right now even. Great point. Okay, let's do this properly. Shout out to my primary sponsor, Vancity Experts Real Estate. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Shout out to my secondary sponsor, Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. Check them out at ptform.com. Thank you to Gassy J Art, maker of that fine artwork. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. Use the link, tinyurl.com/VessiClay. Receive a free pair of socks off your next purchase of Vessi shoes. I keep forgetting to tell you, there's a code. When you use that link, there's a code at the top that you can use for free socks. My shows this week, Canucks After Dark tomorrow with Parker at 10, then Games Night at 11:15, and then regular shows on no member streams. Regular shows this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all at 11 p.m. leading up to the trade deadline on Friday. Looking for Canucks tickets? I only have 5 more games to sell. CanuckClay@gmail.com. And so I got some news for you. This trip is still going, Vancouver versus Vegas, but the price has gone up because we were, after 3 months, we were promoting it at $999. So because of hotel and flight availability, it has gone up by $150. So if you still want to come, it's still a good deal. It was a better deal, admittedly, prior to today. So hopefully you got in already. So it's still $1,149 now, as opposed to $999. So it has gone up by $150. And that $1,149 still gets you return airfare, airport transfers, 3 nights hotel at the Park MGM, and the game ticket. So a little more expensive, but you're still welcome to come. If you're interested, contact Neal Chark, nealc@uniglowcarefree.ca. That's nealc@uniglowcarefree.ca, and mention that you heard it from Canuck Clay. Mid-show reminder to all of you to subscribe, to like the video, to leave donations like Lucas has done, to gift memberships like Carol has done, to use your monthly membership messages like Lucas and Adam have done, and you can buy your own membership, upgrade your own membership. And if you're listening on the podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Okay. 88 of you, so I got to go questions only. You guys know that 75 is my kind of cutoff. So I'll go questions only for the next little bit, just so I can stay going. Which team will be more, I don't use this word. So in tough doo-doo, after Crosby, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and Ovechkin retire, Washington, Pittsburgh. I still think Washington, because I think Pittsburgh, you can still, I don't know. I just think they're a better organization. I actually, to be honest with you, I don't know the prospects in both and the young players in both organizations. I just have more faith in Pittsburgh for some reason. So let's go with Pittsburgh. Gensel with Petey and Lindholm is the best line in the league. We don't have one of those guys yet. We got to get him for that power play too. Swap McCabe and prospects. That's how win the cup. Yeah, but we're not going to get Gensel for McCabe and prospects. That's for sure. But I hear what you're saying. You got it, Daniel. It is lemonade tonight. We had no pop in the fridge, so I bought a Coke. I put it in there, but it wasn't cold, but lemonade was. So that's what it is. Oh, and at the end, I still think it's going to be Vancouver, Edmonton, Vegas, and LA. I think Vegas is going through a slump like we just did. I think they're going to still right the ship, although they have some injuries. Yeah, I do think Edmonton will finish second. So let's say Vancouver, Edmonton, Vegas, LA, but LA and Vegas could be swapped. Yes, SGP, I don't see either of those two players playing with a different franchise. I just don't see it. Another donation from legendary Lucas Gates. Just letting you all know, Clay, my franchise hockey manager, that Pittsburgh moved up from their core. The hardcore rebuild began there. For reference, Crosby traded to Halifax. Okay, well, so sort of not realistic because there's no Halifax in real life, but that's why it's a fantasy league. That's cool. That's cool. So they're already rebuilding in your league, which would make a lot of sense. Thank you very much, Lucas, for that generous donation. Everyone being generous tonight. Okay. 0 for 12, your dating record. You're talking about me? I don't get it. What dating record? I don't get it. This is more exciting. Well, thank you, Tim. Yeah, the game was okay. Maybe because I was watching in the airport, I was excited to get home. I don't know. I thought it was fine. Have a question. First time I think someone used the word reckon in a question. Hey, Murray, have a question. You reckon the Canucks would be interested in Daniel Sprong from the Red Wings? Frank rates him highly. Is he a UFA? I know who that player is. I just don't know how highly ranked he is on any charts or whatever. Is he a UFA? Is he an RFA? Let me know. I have not heard the Canucks connected to him, though. Hey, Irvin, I actually talked about this earlier. Sorry if you missed it. Brutally honest, I thought he was great. I thought he was good. He had zeros across his stat line, but I thought he played with confidence. He set up his line mates, played strong along the wall. I thought he was fine. Brown has 0 goals in his last 30 games, signed play McDavid, but at least Brown is only making $775. Do you see Canucks having to give up value to move McCabe? I do. Yes. I think at this point you have to throw in a sweetener. I don't know the Canucks. I think they just gonna kind of hope he somehow finds his game. But yeah, it feels very Louis Eriksson like right now, unfortunately. David, how many moves does Vancouver make by Friday? I'm going to say 2, and they're going to be considered minor depth moves. I don't know if they have enough to make another splash. You could say the Zadorov trade was big, and the Lindholm trade was obviously very big. I think the next 4 games for Canucks are going to be really tough. What do you think, Clay? Yeah, I agree. It's going to be brutal. It's LA, Vegas, the Jets, and Colorado. Yeah. That is going to be tough for sure. By the way, someone asked which games I'm going to in March. I'm going to 3, not 4. So I'm going to Buffalo on the 19th, LA on the 25th, and Dallas on the 28th. Tyler, I'm doing a show every night, so I'm not missing any shows. Oh, I think I just skipped I jumped up earlier. Oh, sorry, guys. I think, sorry, guys, I got lost in my looking for questions. Pods here to stay or showcase for a trade? No, I don't think they're going to. Oh, yeah. The timing was interesting. Kind of came out of nowhere, but basically he placed Baines in the lineup. I'd hope not. I want to see him succeed here. And yes, we are still undefeated with the Greenman. Would Podkolzin have to clear waivers if he's sent down? Yes. Good question. Does anyone know that for sure? I don't think he has to clear. I thought Hoglander does, but Podkolzin doesn't. But does anyone know for sure? What's my prediction over the next 4? Yeah, I think 2-2 sounds about right. I did see Chris Gears. Oh, I didn't know his 5-part tweet explaining the actions for the bridge deal. Yeah, I can't even. I haven't read it yet, but I'm presuming he's saying that. I bet you he's saying that you add up the bridge and the long term, and we're better off than if we went long term first. That's my guess. SGP, I believe PD does have a full movement, no movement clause. Dubas likes Mikheyev. I bet the Wizard Alvin can do it. GM of the year, can he fleece Dubas? I'm not sure about that. When will Susie be back? Well, Bernd, he was skating today, which is great. I think he skated. He would practice with the team yesterday or today. So maybe he plays in LA or Vegas, which would be great. Yeah, the timing is good from a standpoint. Technically, it doesn't affect our salary cap for this year, but it does at least give you an idea of what you can do for going forward. Okay, Jason's saying 1149 is still a good deal for that trip. Okay. Predictions for the homestand coming up, the 9-game homestand. Let's say some tough teams in there. 5-3-1. 5-3-1. That's a good question. What's your biggest concern for the team in the playoffs? That our scoring is going to dry up. I'm actually less concerned about our defense and goaltending. I'm worried about our scoring drying up. 7-6-3. Interesting. Since the Chrome. Time, I think all the games for the rest of the season are going to be like this. They're going to be a little bit tighter. Yep, I'd be interested in Tyler Toffoli for sure. Is it likely that the Canucks could clinch the playoff spot during that 9-game homestand? They have 85 points right now. Yeah, that would make sense because that's a big, I guess, target is you have basically from March 9 to March 31st to clinch the playoff spot. So I think it is likely. Was it snowing? I didn't even know. I haven't looked outside since I've been home. Am I going to any bars, pubs to watch the Canucks in the playoffs? Haven't decided yet, Daniel. I'm going to try and get to as many games as I can in the arena. And then for the away games, I haven't decided yet. Maybe it'd be a good time to do a watch party of some sort. Going to the Avs game. Sweet. You think the Lightning have been overplaying Vasi? Hey, Terp, I actually don't know. I know the Lightning haven't been great. They've been inconsistent, but I have no clue how much they are or aren't playing Vasi. Sorry, I can't really answer that. Still looking to buy a ticket. Maybe I'll buy your tickets, Justin. I'll talk to you. Jack, no, I will not. That is Gail's birthday. And that doesn't mean we can't go to Canucks game, but we're actually running our church ministry that night still on. It's not spring break for the public school kids. Guys, I acknowledge all your messages, but I'm only doing questions. Otherwise, I will never, ever catch up. How was your speaking engagement over the weekend? Hey, Adrian, I talked about it for the first 5 minutes of the stream. It was great. Thank you. Loved being with the young people of Spokane. Yeah, it was actually nice. It was snowing, but I was outside in a t-shirt. I didn't get sick. At least I don't think so. Because it was actually a nice cold. I don't know. I didn't really notice how different it was. Is it? Are you saying it's more humid or less humid? More cold, less cold? I was just shocked it was snowing on March 2nd or whatever. Duck, great question. I believe it's between 20 and 25. I'm supposed to get a list in the next couple of days, actually. Do you think Alvina and Tocchet will be here in 8 years when PD's contract is up? That's a good question. That's a really interesting question, Coach Rob. My gut feeling is no to talk it, not because he stinks and we should fire him, but I think it's rare, very rare that a coach stays that long, because that'll be basically 10 years, 10 years for him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And same with Alvin, maybe. Like Alvin seems like a long-term guy, right? It took him 2 years, him and Rutherford. I don't think Rutherford will be around like with the team. Hopefully still alive. Like, but I think I'm not sure if Rutherford will be with the team in 10 years from now. I think Alvin could be. I think Tockett's 50-50. Maybe I'll put it like that. That's a good question. That is a good question. Like another donation from the legend. Legendary Lucas Gates, just FYI, do not expect black skates for the playoffs. I asked, and it's unlikely. Sorry to be no, don't apologize, Lucas. That is awesome, legendary detective work. You asked the question that a lot of us are probably wondering. So thank you for asking. Don't apologize for being a letdown. Inquiring minds want to know. Thank you, Lucas. And thank you for the donation. Daniel Sprong's analytics are in the top 20. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, got to keep going back to questions. Or answers to questions that I asked. Pods will lose waiver exemption status at the end of next season or when he's played another 42 NHL games. Okay, so we're safe. We're safe for until at least the middle of next season. Thank you, Justin. Do I think Baines will get called back? I don't actually. I think they wanted to give him a look. They want to reward him, make him hungrier to get back. But he wasn't brutal, but he wasn't great when he was up here. In fact, I saw more in Podkolzin's game today than I saw in Baines' 4 games or whatever he had. That's just my honest opinion. Oh, hey, Skull. No, I missed it. Did you see what I said about Pods? No, I didn't. I apologize. I gave the correct answer. No waivers this year. If we sign, he will need waivers. And no waivers this year. If re-signed, he'll need waivers unless two-way. Thank you, Skull. I apologize for missing that. Oh, here. Pods will need waivers after this year if given a new deal and if it's not two-way. Thank you. 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 I thought I saw Kayla's name in here. I thought I saw Kayla's name in here, but I guess I didn't. Because then why would Kayla be watching my stream? Okay, no, she's not. She should be going back to bed. Or back to bed. She should go into bed. Oh, I completely got distracted. Back to what we're doing. Okay. Can Tocchet bring us back? Back to where? Playoffs? Yes. Stanley Cup? Not so sure. Not so sure. In 6 years, when we trade PD, how much salary will we need to retain? Coach Rob, don't be a Debbie Downer. You can ask me in 6 years from now. I'm just kidding. Which team would I not want to face? Let's see the Canucks face in the first round. Vegas. Yeah, I just think that's a tough team, and maybe they cheat with the salary cap. Despite, yeah, I know I walked out of that LA game last week, you guys, saying I don't want to face the Canucks. I don't want the Canucks to face LA in the playoffs. Not so much because we can't beat them, because that was a boring game. That was so boring. So we'll see. We'll see. I think Vegas is a pretty tough matchup, and it's realistic too. Now everyone's talking about how old they're going to be when PD's deal is done. Yeah, you guys can do the math for me. You guys know how old I'm turning. Thoughts on what's happening in New Jersey, going from a playoff? Yeah, that is crazy. They were the pick by many people at the start of this season. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, the injury to Dougie Hamilton didn't help. Jack Hughes has been in and out too. Very surprising. Daniel, I'm fine with the drop pass. That's not the issue. Every team does it. You watch every team's breakout. They all do it. The Canucks drop pass, it's not predictable. It's predictable, but Hughes is so smart. He never screws up. They screw up when they do an extra pass or when they try and go through everyone. But in theory, you should be fine because you have two. Hughes has the option to drop it. If he doesn't, he just skates it in. If he does, drop it. They got two guys going at full speed. Every team does the drop pass. It's more of once you get into the zone, what do you do with it? So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I'm kind of with Zest. I don't care how old we'll be if we win a Stanley Cup. Yeah, I'll take a Stanley Cup when I'm 150 years old because that's what I'm going to live to. Thoughts on Miller play lately? Best on the team, best forward. He's been the engine that's driving us. I'm with you, Mike. I'm with you, Mike. Hey, Mike, you changed your name to your name. Nice to see you. Who do you want us to play in round one? Good question. Like, I'd love to say Calgary or St. Louis. No, not St. Louis, like Anaheim or San Jose. But to be realistic, I tweeted that the three teams that are likely going to be in our crosshairs is going to be either Vegas, LA, or Nashville. And of those three, I want to play Nashville. Nashville's hot right now, but I think we match up okay against them. Yeah, I agree, Skull. I'm not sure if you heard me talk about how much I like the PD deal. Does Tocchet have what it takes to bring us through the playoffs? Well, he's shown, I think he's shown a good commitment to systems, to fairness, to staples, all those S words. So we'll see. The team doesn't have a lot of playoff experience, so I'm a little bit worried about that for sure. But I think Tocchet will have him ready. It just matters, will they pull through? Good question. Does Kessel sign this week? Ricky, I think he does, and I think they give him a low risk $1 million contract. He has to if he wants to play the playoffs. Maybe he has a miraculous week of training this week. If I had to guess, my gut feeling is yes. I think PD needs to shoot more. He possesses a lethal shot, even if he's not correct position. He'll generate rebound thoughts. Yeah, Zess, I would like him to shoot more, not hesitate, and just get pucks to the net. I know it's so cliche. I know, the most aggravating. Not the most. One of the most aggravating things at a game is when you're watching the Canucks on a power play and everyone yells, shoot, shoot, shoot. They yell shoot after the guy has it for 1 second. A lot of these people don't realize that these players are smart. They're looking for a shooting lane, a passing lane. You can't just shoot because not all these guys have hard shots. Like if you're a Phil Hronek, I think you can shoot every time and hit the net, not go wide all the time or blast it at someone. But a lot of these guys, they don't have a hard shot. So if it gets blocked, it could be a breakaway or 2-on-1 the other way. So that's the one funny thing is people yell shoot. And me and my buddy Mike used to actually turn around and say, no, they shouldn't shoot because they're going to give up. But then it just makes us look like know-it-alls. Having said that, I think PD should shoot more. Is New Jersey becoming a place where careers go to die? I wouldn't say that just yet. Yeah, he'll sign every contract's prorated, Justin, but yeah, he'll sign a 1-year contract for $1 million and then they'll only have to pay him technically $250,000 of it for a quarter of the season. Yeah, that's my guess. Hey, Rev Trev. No need to apologize, Skull. That's the trick. I respect that people ask questions but I've already talked about it. So instead of rehashing it, I would just invite you to rewatch. It's just out of fairness to the people that were here from the start, but I get it. And some people don't want to sit here for a whole hour and watch me. So I get that. So no problem. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. What's the very first thing you're doing if the Canucks win the cup besides screaming and jumping up and down? Well, I'm going to keep my clothes on, Daniel. I think that's key. I'll keep my clothes on. I'll probably pour, you know how winning football coaches get Gatorade? I'll probably self-pour a Pepsi over my face. And then if I'm at the game and they win the Stanley Cup, I'm sure I'll be sitting with Mike or Sean and I'll just hug them nonstop. I'm confident in my masculinity. Then I'll probably, I won't jump off the 300 level, but I'll probably run up and down the stairs a little bit, hug everyone. But in all seriousness, if I'm watching at home, like let's say we win it on the road or I'm with people, the very first thing I would do, I know I'm going to cry. I think a lot of us are going to cry. I'm a 49-year-old man. I'm not afraid to admit I'm going to cry. I'll probably hug and kiss whoever's closest to me. Hopefully it's Gail, but you never know. And then we'll go from there. How much do you think we pay for Hronek? I've heard everything from like unrealistically under 7 million. A lot of people are saying 7.5, 8.5. He's going to make more. He could make more than Quinn, but that doesn't mean we think he's better than Quinn. It means percentage of cap. He's not going to make as much as Quinn. And remember, half an hour ago, I was talking about how amazing the Quinn Hughes deal is right now. So how much do I think we're going to pay for Hronek? I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the $7.5, $8 million range. Carl, did you go to church today? I think I saw you. Carl, no, I did not go to church. So it wasn't me. It was another good looking Asian guy because I was in Spokane all day and I flew back early this evening. I went to church in Spokane. I feel we have lost some brute power or power strong arms. Yeah, well, not having Dakota Joshua in the lineup is massive. Susie, he's not the toughest guy ever, but he's big and he's got a good reach and he breaks up a lot of plays. So no coincidence that we've lost some games since both guys have been out. I yell shoot every 0.3 seconds. So when they do score, I can turn to the guy behind me and tell him I told him, okay, so you're the guy that I would be yelling back at. Good question, Trev. I think his best season came when he was playing with Tkachuk and Gaudreau. So our equivalent would be PD, Besser, Miller. I really think, and this was a scouting report on him, he's not a creator. He's not a creator. So he needs really good players to set him up or to kind of inspire some creative play. Today he was with Podkolzin and Garland, and Podkolzin is good. I was very impressed with this game, but he's not the most creative player. And Garland, even Garland's not the most creative player. Like the Garland, Joshua, and Bluger were good because they all knew that one guy was always going to the net, and one guy goes mucks and gets the puck and puts it to the net. And Podkolzin tried to do that, and he got it to Garland at least once in the slot, I remember. So I just think Lindholm needs creative players, skilled players. And he had that chance with PD and Höglander. I think they should go back to it, actually. I know Tocchet loves the depth at center, but we simply don't have enough good wingers where we can spread Miller, PD, and Lindholm across 3 lines. We don't have 6 uber talented wingers. I would still be fine with going, even if it's Miller, Besser, Mikheyev, and you just hope that Miller and Besser can elevate Mikheyev's game. And then you put the 3 Swedes on the line, PD, Höglander, and Lindholm. And then when we're healthy, you can go back to Bluger, Joshua, and Garland. And then you can have Suter. You can have Suter centering your 4th line. And then whoever you want there, Podkolzin or Lafferty or PDG or Oman, whatever you want. I just think he needs to play with some creative players. Do you think the Oilers will catch the Canucks? No, they're going to be close. But I think if that was our rough spell, we can get out of it despite the tough running games we have coming up. I think it'll be close, but I don't think they will. Do I think the Mikheyev knee injury is the reason he isn't good? I would suggest that it's hard to come back from such a catastrophic injury, and he might be still playing a little bit tentative. And he's got a bad shot. Like he's got good legs, but not the best hands. Like he can't score in breakaways. He doesn't have the strongest shot. So tough. Tattoo if the Canucks win the cup. You go ahead, Irvin. You go ahead. And you take a picture and send it to me. That didn't sound right. But I probably won't. You think the Canucks can find a way to get Toffoli and Greenway? Not both of them. I know they're both names have been floated. Yeah, Greenway would be an upgrade over PDG. Sure. Toffoli makes it a little more intriguing for me. LMFAO, you may never know. Such a legend, Clay. What did I say? Taylor, what was that in response to? I can't remember. Was that about what do I do with the Canucks win the cup? Refresh me. If the Canucks win a cup, CCC gritty parade around the arena. Probably better content than the cheesy music videos. Wait, you're talking about my videos? I know you're not talking about my videos, Justin. All right, let's get back to the questions. Do I plan to go to a playoff game? Kel, I plan to go to many. I have access to a few sets of season tickets. But the one that I'm pretty sure we are not going to be selling, we're actually be going to, are the ones, me and Mike, the ones that I've had for 15 years with my season ticket partner, Mike. So, and we've talked about a concept or a theory or a working theory of selling one game per round, but then going to most of them. You know, it's interesting in talking to many season ticket holders, there's really two philosophies. There really is. One of them is you sell tickets during the regular season, get some of your money back, and you go to as many playoff games as you can. I'm not saying one makes you more of a fan than the other. There's another theory, school of thought, that you go to regular season games or sell them, but you really sell playoff games because that's where you make your money. And so that's kind of the catch-22. It's a first world problem, I'll admit, in that we're blessed to have season tickets and we could sell all the games we want and we could make a lot of money. But for Mike and me, we're not made of money, but that's not our MO. That's not why we do it. And with Jason and Sean, when, you know, we split tickets, that's a conversation we're going to have what our philosophy is going to be with those. So to answer your question, yeah, I plan to go to more than half of the games, Kel. That's my hope. Which depth players do you hope the Canucks are eyeing for the upcoming deadline? Yeah, that's a question. Would you consider like a Toffoli or a Greenway depth now, considering that they're not, you know, top of mind? I'm just looking at the trade bait list from TSN. Like, I don't want Dumba. If I'm looking at depth, Chikrin's too expensive. You know, there's Alexander Carey. I've talked about him, 2.5. Sean Walker, 2.65. That's what I would consider depth. Oh gosh, I didn't know Adam Henrique's so expensive. Yeah, it's tough to say. I don't. Do you call Vetrano depth? By the way, Frank Vetrano didn't really impress me tonight, so I'm not sure if I want him anymore. Threaten Hronek to trade him to Carolina if he does that. Yeah, Zal, I'm not sure if you were here when I was talking earlier in my stream about how the Canucks, there was never an almost trade to Carolina. And I know we were joking around about the threat and stuff like that. I'll just repeat that. Yes, there's no denying that Carolina had a serious offer. What we don't know if the Canucks even entertained that offer at all. I don't think it's correct to say that they almost traded Petey, but they certainly used that. To what extent, who knows, in the negotiations. But I'm not sure if it's going to work twice in the span of one calendar year. Yeah, I don't know if it's next game, but it's going to be soon. He was a full participant in practice, not wearing non-contact. So I know Tocchet likes to get them at least one or two practices before they play. So yeah, we could see Susie in LA, which would be awesome, or Vegas, which would be awesome as well. Hey Shannon, keep your fantasies out of the stream. Where does Lindholm play when Joshua comes back? I would put him up on the second line again. I really would. Is Taj on Twitter Mike Gillis' son? I know there's rumors out there that it's Spencer Gillis. No, that is also an urban myth or whatever. It's not Spencer Gillis. You think they consider having a Miller Lindholm Besser? I feel that would be a position for that's kind of like the equivalent of playing with Kachuk and Goudreau, but Miller likes playing center. So, but I'm sure they can make it work for sure. A lot of you guys talking to each other, which is awesome. But I want to stay at questions just so I don't fall too far behind. Is Mikheyev Mason Raymond? Yeah, Raymond was fast. Raymond didn't have the best hands, but would Raymond disappear as much as Mikheyev seems to have? I'm not sure about that. Oh, about me kissing someone. Now you say you never know if Gail wasn't there, but yes. Yeah, I gave a lot of scenarios there. Ricky, I'm not going to be in Jovan's music video. This Saturday is my three kids are bowling in provincial championships. So I want to be there to support them. How many ticket holders can there be? And how many seats are just for ordinary site? Yeah, I don't know how many season ticket holders there are, Taylor. I know there was a lot in 2011, 12, 13. Then when the Canucks sucked, they lost a bunch of season ticket holders, and now it's slowly moving up again. I actually don't know what the base is. I've always thought it was about half, like 8 to 10,000. And then that means there's 8 to 10,000 of, I think it was higher before. I think it was 12, 13,000 before, but I think it's dropped to 8 to 10. I think, I don't know for sure. And I do know that I heard from my ticket rep that prices are going up quite significantly next season. So that's something that everyone's going to have to think about for sure. Stetcher at the deadline. Yeah. Does he make our team better? What's his contract like right now, Irvin? Can you look it up? If the supposed offer was Natchez, Jarvis, Nishkin first for PD, would you have taken it? No, I still don't. I still don't. And I don't know if Carolina does that. That's the thing, because it's a big risk if PD doesn't re-sign there. I know it's all for naught now, but no, I still don't take it. What type of trade do you want to see? I want to see something big, but what I think we're going to see is a depth trade, because we simply don't have the assets. We've been bleeding assets a little bit. They don't want to give up their 2025 first round picks. They don't want to give up Villander or Lekaramaki. So I think it's got to be depth. You know, Doug, I wasn't on X tonight, so I think Justin or someone mentioned that people were saying that it might be trade bait. I don't see that. I think Podkolzin could do much. There's a lot that he can do in this organization. Our first round draft pick from 2019, team friendly contract. I don't think it's showcasing him. I don't. Yeah, I think for his sake, I kind of want him to tone it down a little bit. I did not see that the Thrashers returned for the game. Interesting. How does the first line of Toffoli, Miller, and Besser sound? It sounds great, but Toffoli and Besser both play right wing. That's why they played on different lines, and that they're a great 1-2 punch at right wing. So I'm not sure if they would ever play on the same line, same line. Yeah, there are 4,000 full season ticket holders that meet. So Clay estimates at 10 could be right. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was about 8 or so. Maybe Justin. How long Myers out? They're saying weeks, but they're saying not to the playoffs. So he'll be back. So maybe mid to late March. If you want to see something big, does that mean you're willing to give up? No. So that's what I mean, Carl, is I can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. That's a kind of a weird saying, but I don't want to give up Villander or Lekaramaki, and that's what you'd have to do for something big. So no, I'm resigned to a depth trade, which is fine. Stetcher's 1.1. Okay, I would do it then. I would do it. Familiarity. You know, he played well for us in the bubble. Can you imagine that bubble was only 4 years ago? Skull's not sold on Lekaramaki. We'll see. Do you think the Oilers can sustain their play? I think they'll finish with 105 to 110 points, and I think we'll finish between 110 and 115. So yeah, I think they can sustain their play, but I think we can ramp ours up too. Why don't they just put Myers in LTIR? They can, retroactive. They can. Usually you don't put a player on LTIR right away, just in case he comes back before that 10 game, 21 day or 24 day, 28 day, whatever it is, that threshold. But once he reaches that threshold, that's when you retroactively put him back on LTIR and gain the cap savings from that. But you don't do that right away unless you know for sure a guy's going to be out for more than a month. KT, I do not know how they determine which season. What they do, though, is all season ticket members get certain perks depending on seniority, random draw. So they say blah, blah, blah. So the meet the team one is the easiest one. It's the easiest one. You can call it the best one, but I don't know. I still think there's other experiences that are even better. Depends how much you value meeting the team. But you put, that's an easy way to get 4,000 season. That's your perk. That's your perk for the season. So I agree with Justin. If we guesstimate that there's 8,000 season ticket holders in one fell swoop, in one 2-hour period, You can knock off 4,000 benefits right there. But yeah, they try and do a formula where you don't get that 2 years in a row, or maybe you do, I don't know. But it is the easiest. But then there's a lot of other ones like dinners here, golf tourney, concerts, sit in the penalty box like we did. So there's a lot of more exclusive ones, but I don't know how they determine the OKT for sure. Hey, Harry, welcome back. Thank you. Could we see the Canucks getting Toffoli, Gensel, and Greenway? No, not all three. Not all three. Definitely not Gensel. I just think that cost is going to be too much. Drant said teams still value Mikheyev. You think they can find a way to trade him? I don't think they can, but I think they're going to try. If the Canucks stay put, would that be a bad idea? No. Look where they are right now, but you don't want to be the only team that doesn't improve. But you could argue that Lindholm and Zadorov were your trade deadline moves already. Doug, this lapse doesn't worry me that much because I think there are the injuries to Susie and Joshua, and admittedly the distraction of the Pettersson contract. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Are private box tickets sold a la carte, or is there a season package? No, you can buy one box for one night. I think it's like 20 grand, 24 grand, because I think it's 10 or 15 grand for half a box. Half a box is still a box, right? Whatever. So no, you can do it per game. You definitely don't have to buy seasons for the box. I saw Lecker Mackey's lacrosse goal. A bit grainy video, but it was good. It was good. Who backs up next year? I think they're going to give Seelovs every opportunity to, and that's how you can save some money as well. Markstrom, Vancouver? Nope, no way. $6 million. There's a reason why we picked Demko over Markstrom 4 years ago. Markstrom's good, but no. $6 million and the assets you need to trade for him? No way. And why? For what time? This is Demko's team. Do you think the cost to acquire Gensel was substantially higher than Lindholm? It'll be more than Lindholm. I think so. I think so. Do I want to see the Lotto line again? Yeah, I think they can go back to it. You can always go Lotto, and then you can go Lindholm. Well, that doesn't leave a lot. Lindholm, Hoglander, and put someone else there. And I'll end with this one because I can't believe we're already at an hour 12. And no, I actually haven't covered this. I just said I thought PD was okay. He had his moments like that opening shift where he dominated. His line was the one that dominated him and Hoglander and Suter, and that's how that led to Hoggy's goal. So I thought overall he was okay. I still made at least one turnover that I can remember on a power play, but and it wasn't his fault. The goal that the Ducks scored, it was kind of a weird bounce play, even though he was trying to cover someone. So I thought he was okay. He wasn't dominant, but he wasn't as bad. I know a lot of people have been on his case a little bit, and now he's going to have a lot to live up to for sure. Friends, that was a good night, but I am going to get going now. It is an hour. Okay, I'll do these last three, and then I'm going to go for sure. Do you think the Canucks will get a superstar or young player during the deadline? Neither. I think they're going to get a depth player. If Gensel, Toffoli aren't available, who should we get next? I think we're going to get some third or fourth line forward, but I don't know the name of them just yet. And lastly, do you think Monahan and Tanev would have been a better choice than Lindholm trade? Well, it's easy to say that because I've never really liked Monahan as a player. I actually think Lindholm has potential. It's just being a little bit disappointing. Tanev, I thought the price would be a lot more than what Dallas paid. So in hindsight, yeah, if we got a third line center and a right shot D over what Lindholm has been doing, in hindsight, yes, but I still hopeful for Lindholm to turn it around for sure. Yeah, Justin, I'm supposed to put the AMA post out Saturday morning, and then I let people leave questions Saturday, Sunday, and I record Sunday night for release on Monday morning, but I forgot to do it. So I said that I would, I only put up the post Sunday after like dinner time when I was at the airport. And then I said I'd leave it up till tomorrow. So maybe, yeah, I know I took a look. I know there's a lot of questions in there too. So I'll be ready. I'll record it tomorrow night. And Taylor, we'll end with this. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thanks for the stream. Glad you're back in Canada. Taylor, I'm glad I'm back too after a very, very blessed weekend, and still thinking with joy for the Spokane teens. And you're welcome for the answer, Skull. I'm very not stressed right now. There's no big work event coming up. There's no big thing for my master's. There's no big church thing. I feel good. I'm in a good mood. So I was able to stay on for a little bit longer today. And you guys kept the questions going. So I appreciate it. Had over 100 people in here tonight. Not that it's about the numbers, but it's one indication. Friends, you guys are awesome moderators. Thank you for doing what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovelander, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members. Thanks to all of you. And for the donation, because of the donations, we're up to over 140 members now in this community, which is amazing. For everyone else, thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Always appreciate you. Never, ever take you for granted. Those who went above and beyond. Carol gifting 10 memberships tonight. Adam using a monthly membership message. Lucas using a monthly membership message. Canuck Clay for gifting 5 memberships. Lucas for the multiple donations. Thank you to all of you. Thanks to my sponsors, Advanced Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training and Weight Loss. And on your way out, you can still subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your own membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. You want Canucks tickets? Email me, canuckclay@gmail.com. Want to go on this trip? It's more expensive now, but we're still taking people. Neal C at uniglobcarefree.ca. And finally, tomorrow, Canucks After Dark, me and Parker at 10. And then because it's a non-Canucks game night and I'll be Canuck talked out, we'll be doing a simple games night on my stream at 11:15 p.m. tomorrow. So I hope you'll join me for sure. All right, friends. Thanks for everything. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. By the way, I went to the doctor last week and he said, don't eat anything fatty. And I said, what? You mean like don't eat burgers? And he said, no, fatty, just don't eat anything. It's not nice. God bless. And go Canucks go. Booyah.